Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. So in this video, I'll be reiterating you about various aspects of data channel, including data sources, that is for ETL transformations, both SQL and DBT, and reverse ETL as well. So, and in the end, I think we'll use data orchestration as well to create a workflow using all three that I just mentioned. Yeah, okay. So I'll just start right away. You land up here usually. It's the home screen. It is, and then you go to the data sources section and you select any data source you'd like to configure. Say, for example, I'm selecting Amazon Vendor Central. Okay, so you see an Add Data Pipeline button here. Simply click on the Add Data Pipeline button. It's a 5-step process. You simply add your credentials, you select the data pipeline you wish to configure, and you give some configuration details to that pipeline. Then there's a scheduling part, or you can manually run as well. And then there's the dataset name that your pipeline will be saved with in your warehouse. So I'll just start with credentials. I have some credentials handy with me here. So I'll also show you how they actually look. So if you go to add credentials, uh, you just give a name to your credentials. Say, for example, sample vendor creds. You select whether it's a DC managed app, DC managed as in data channel managed app, or not. If yes, then there are not much details that you have to fill. If no, then you'll have to give your app details in the form. So for now, I'll just select yes. Then you select the marketplace where you're selling. So for example, you're selling in the US. You select US. Then there's the seller name. This is ideally your name with which you sell on Amazon Seller Central. The sample store private limited, let's just say. Then you select your marketplace time zone. Then you click save, and then you are redirected to your Amazon website to sign in with Amazon. So for now, I'll just close this and I'll just select some of the already configured credentials. Then we go to click next and we go to the selection of data pipelines here. So these are the data pipelines we support in Vendor Central. So these can vary as per connectors. So for Seller Central, you'll see a whole new bunch. For Shopify, a whole new, another bunch. So for now, let's just select one of the famous reports that our clients mostly use, is the vendor forecasting report. So this is quick next. And the third step, as I told you, is the pipeline configuration part. So you select on the selling problem, whether it's retail or fresh. For now, I'll just select retail. And then there's the insert mode. Uh, Upsert will update and insert new records, update old records and insert new records. Append will just fetch data and append it to your warehouse table. So this is not actually recommended because this causes duplicacies. Whereas in pipelines like inventory, this is a vital insert mode. Then there's the replace mode, which replaces the entire data set existing in your warehouse with the new one that is being fetched from the current data pipeline. So I'll just select upsert here and then move to next. And there's the scheduling part. You have an option of setting a templatized schedule 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, or you have an option of advanced scheduling as well, where you can actually select the exact hour and minute of the day you would like the pipeline to run, like say for every 4 hours from 6 hours. It's 10. So this will essentially start in morning 6:10 and then it will run for every 4 hours subsequently. This is an advanced options part. For now, I'll just manually run the pipeline and click next. This is the dataset name. This is the name with which your pipeline will be created in your warehouse, the table with which you'll be able to view the data. So you give a dataset name here, say sample vendor forecasting report. You have an option of giving the description as well, some report description. Let's just say This is what you give. Then you select the notification option that you like the notification on error only or both error and success. So I'll just select error and success both for now. You get notifications here, or you have the option of getting them on your Slack channel, on email, and we are soon coming up with Microsoft Teams as well. So yeah, this is the notification templates. Then the next option is, would you like to run the pipeline as soon as you submit, or would you like to just submit the pipeline and run it sometime later? There's another option here, run backfill after save. This is usually for our first time users. When a user toggles run backfill after save, a date picker usually comes up, and you can load your historical data from here. Say for example you're selling since 23 January, so that's what we'll do. You'll just select 23 January and you know backfill for a period of say March 31, 2023. This will essentially run the pipeline for this period. So for this demo I'm trying to keep it short, so let's just say that I'll just run backfill after save, because if I run with run after save, then it will fetch the entire data set there is in Amazon Vendor Central. So let's just run for March, so 1st March to 5th March, and submit. Yeah, so you've created your first pipeline successfully, and these are the three options that get listed. That is view run status, add another pipeline. That will be adding another pipeline in the vendor central data source, or you can configure a whole another data source here. You can also skip to the configure data pipelines list. So I'll just click on view run status for now. This will take you to the number of runs page where you'll see that the pipeline is running. You see a status here running, and this will take some time. So in the meantime, we'll just configure a simple transformations that will run after this pipeline runs successfully. So for that workflow, we'll be using orchestration later, but for now, I'll just go to transformations and configure a sample query. Uh, Vendor Central. So if you expand this, you'll be able to see with the which table name your pipeline will be existing in your warehouse. So this is essentially the table name with which your pipeline will be available in the data warehouse. So I'll just go to transformations. Uh, I said navigate to transformations here. So here you'll get two options. You can call an external DBT project that is running in your Git repository, or you can use SQL transformations as well. So this essentially makes your job very easy, but that is a topic for a whole new video, I guess. So for now, I'll just use SQL transformations and you can create new. So here is it asks you for a transformation name. For example, say we'll be creating this transformation on the pipeline that we just configured. So I'll just name this vendor central forecasting pipeline. And then you have the option of selecting the data warehouse on which that particular pipeline was configured. You need to be careful about this, because when selecting the data warehouse, you need to make sure that whatever you select here is compatible with the SQL query you write here. You'll select the data warehouse, you'll write the SQL query. So I've just just now created another. I just now created a SQL query that uh, refreshes a view completely. This we noticed earlier was the table name with which your pipeline was getting created. So you have just written a SQL statement like drop view if exists. If this view is existing, you need to drop this and create a new view with this very same name as select star from the very same table name, which was created with the forward data pipeline. So this is a simple refresh view query. So I'll just paste it out here. You can configure your queries here as well. After this, you can toggle dependencies. So we just ran what we ran vendor central, and so select vendor central here, and then it will give you the option of the reports that you have configured in vendor central. So we just configured the sample vendor forecasting report. So we'll select this. So now when this transformation, since you've toggled dependency here, it will run only when this particular pipeline or report has run successfully. If this has somehow errored out, the transformations won't be able to complete. So the next part is pretty same as the forward data pipeline. You get to select a schedule here. For now, I'll just select manual run and save this transformation. Your transformations will be listed here, and you get a run button right next to it. There's a similar screen that you see in the forward data pipeline. Here's your configuration page. Last run details will look much similar to what we see in the forward pipeline. Then there is this detailed accordion as well. Again, you can run transformations here. For now, let's just check if our configured pipeline has run successfully. I think it has, since we toggled notifications on success as well. So I think this has completed the run. And you can see it has moved around 5,280 rows, which is all right. Now I'll just, we have a transformation now configured. So I'll not run this for now. I will use orchestration to call this transformation. We'll get to that part later. But yeah, let's use this. The third feature that I was talking about was reverse ETL. So yes, using reverse ETL, you can push data from your warehouse, whatever warehouse that you have configured here. I'm using this one as of now. So you can push data from your data warehouse to these destinations that are available with DataChannel. So in Explore, you can push data to Facebook ads, create custom audiences, for targeted advertisements, push offline conversions, Google Sheets exported. It's pretty simple. So whatever data is there in your warehouse, it will, go to be written to a Google Sheet. Then there is an S3 bucket. Would you like to write to an S3 bucket? Uh, there is a Slack that you can send messages, or you can upload CSVs to your channels using Slack. There's Google Ads, similar to Facebook Ads. There's More Engage, Google Cloud Storage, so FTP and all. So yeah, a variety of destinations here that you see. Um, there's Tableau as well, so you can actually publish a data source, or update data in hyperconnection using this reverse ETL connector. So for now, I'll just configure a Google Sheets, because this will be the easiest uh, approach to get you to understand what actually reverse ETL is. So I'll just create a new sheet here, and let's just name it data channel. Oh my god, demo, data channel demo, and channel demo for reverse I'm doing because I have many Google Sheets with the name data channel demo. So then let's name the sheet something as well. Reverse case one, for example. So the five-step process is pretty much the same. So what you saw in the forward data pipeline, the process is pretty much same. You say add your credentials, you configure your syncs, you select your sync, then configure your sync, then the scheduling, and then there is a sync name that comes up. So for now, I have already configured credentials, but yeah, it is pretty much simple. I'll just do it again because, or I'll just edit to make it much easier for you to understand. So I'll just edit the Raghav core credentials. So sign in with Google, you just give your name. This is just for your understanding. After that, you just sign in with Google, and, just see what all permissions are required. You edit all of your Google Drive files and create spreadsheets. So this is pretty much necessary for us to write back to your Google Sheets. You click allow. then we'll validate whether your credentials are valid or not. So we try to fetch existing sheets in your account. So if the fetch request fails, then the validation also fails. The next part is, as you selected a data pipeline while configuring the forward data source, here you will select a reverse sync. So we have one option here only, that is export, because we are just exporting data from our warehouse. So next, let's do next. So the next part is the configuration part. So whatever sync that you selected here needs to be configured in the next part. It's pretty basic. You select the Google Sheet. So I just created this data channel demo for reverse. So we'll move data to this Google Sheet. Then you select the worksheet. So worksheet we just have one and reverse case one. So we'll be selecting that. Then there is two options that you get here. You can write a SQL query inside DataChannel itself using the data models patch. And if you're not actually that well versed with SQL, you can use segments as well to, write. It's a no-code SQL builder, so you can write where clauses and all using the segment option. Or you can fetch data directly from a table or view that is created in your warehouse. So on the next step you'll be selecting that particular warehouse from which you'll be fetching this table or view. So this is a data channel demo redshift, it's the one. Yeah, so we'll be selecting the table or view again, and the forecasting report. Yeah, here it is. So we've just selected the table and view. So the next option that you get is whether you want to move all the columns or you would like to move just specific columns. So usually clients do select specific columns because there is not much use for row identities created in a Google Sheet. There is also one more option that you see is the renaming of columns. So let's just name this for forecasting units. I do. All right. So now the column with this column, this P90 forecasting units, will be created with just forecasting units as a name in Google Sheet. Oh, you'll see. So the next mode is the fetch mode, whether you'd like to every time fetch fully from your table that is in the warehouse, or would you like to just incrementally fetch? Okay, next is the insert mode. It is pretty much similar to what I explained in the forward ETL part. Uh, I'll just reiterate once again. So your upsert is update and insert. It updates old records, inserts new records. Replace replaces the entire thing. And append will just fetch data and load it to your warehouse without caring for any duplicacies or any existing data. So yeah, I'll just select since this is a Google Sheet, I don't really mind selecting replace. And for this time, I'm not sure if I need to give a key, so I'll just be selecting the fetch mode as full. And let's try and move this data to this Google Sheet. Scheduling part is pretty much again same as it is in the forward data pipelines. I'll just select manual run here and move to next. The next part, this is the data sync details. In the forward data pipelines, it's called the dataset name because it is the name with which your table gets created in your warehouse. Here, this name is just for your understanding. It's a sync name. So let's just name this vendor forecasting data export. And this is again the same as is in the forward pipelines. Just select error and success, select run after save. Or let's just not select run after save and just select submit here. I'll be using orchestration to run this reverse sync later. So another three options similar to the forward data pipelines that you see, that you can view run status, you can add another sync in Google Sheets, or you can configure a whole other destination, or you can skip to configured syncs list directly. So if I do this, you'll be landing up in the configured syncs page and you'll be able to see your sync here. No run initiated since we did not actually initiate a run. We just selected submit. We just submitted without selecting run after save. So now we have three things configured. That is, I just what These are, let's just remove this. So we have forward pipeline configured, that is vendor central. Then we have the second is the transformations. We wrote a SQL query for refreshing a view. And the third, we set up a reverse sync to move to Google Sheets. So now what I'll be doing is I'll be orchestrating all three of these into a workflow using DataChannel orchestration. So let's go to that. So yeah, these are my configured orchestrations. You won't be seeing this. It will essentially be a blank screen if you're coming here for the first time. Uh, I'll just click on create new. So these are the nodes options that you see. There's a forward data source, there's a SQL transformation, there's a DBT transformation, this is the reverse ETL, and there's a decision node as well. So I'll try to configure most of these since we did not use DBT transformations. So I won't be doing this, but other four I'll try to use. So in the first step, we are selecting a node, for example, data source node. Let's just select vendor central here since we configured a data pipeline. One thing to keep in mind, everything available in orchestration is only the pieces that are already configured in your platform in DataChannel. So if you're new to the platform, you have not configured any pipelines, any reversing, any transformations. So this essentially is not for you. So I'll be selecting vendor forecasting report since we just configured this. The next option you see is the number of tries. So say for example, for some reason your pipeline fails. So this is the amount of tries that your pipeline will do uh, if it fails. So if it's say fails in the first run, then it will try for another two times. If the total it takes the total of tries to three before declaring it as an error case. Then there is the retry interval. You can select 10, 20, 30. This is in minutes. So between every retry, if you select 10, it will wait for at least 10 minutes. So this is to avoid the rate limits and throttling the source APIs. So we expect the nodes to wait before retrying at least for 10 minutes. So if you don't select anything here, then by default we take the value as one, whether you put anything or not. Yeah, so we'll check. It's another parameter is the check freshness of the pipeline. So here you'll just select the duration. Say if it is 1 hour, it will check for a success state for this particular data pipeline in the past 1 hour. So if your pipeline has run successfully in the past 1 hour, this node won't run and it won't impact your number of rows moved as well. So is this, or would you like to, there's option of running every time that you have a business case where you'd like this pipeline to be fresh all the time. So you can select run every time here. For now, let's just try and check the freshness. Or why not just initiate a pipeline or check the freshness. It's all right. So I just finished this. The next step is I'll just add a decision node after this. Say greater. This decision node basically lets you decide if um, an appropriate amount of rows were moved in your data pipeline before moving to the next step. Say, for example, greater than, let's say, 100 rows. You'd want at least 100 rows to be moved from this data pipeline, and then only you'll want to move forward in the workflow. So you can configure a decision node here. Finish. And once this has been completed, you can select uh, so once this has been completed, this decision node will figure out, will check for the number of rows which were moved here, and if this is greater than 100, then whatever you connect further than this would move ahead. Like whatever workflow is ahead of this decision node, it will start executing that. Now we'll be connecting the SQL transformation that we wrote on this vendor forecasting report. So we already had it configured. So this again is similar to the other nodes, you get the tries before declaring this node as error. You get the retry interval, which is similar to what I told earlier. Just finish. So yeah, one more thing. I think I forgot one thing. So you get the option of when you connect two edges, you get three options on the edges, that is success, error, completed. So you can actually decide if this node is a successful run, you can move to the next node, or you can configure any other node. Say for example, for now I'll just select SQL transformation and just move error here. So if this errors out, then you can select this node, and whether or not it is an error node or a successful node, I would like another node to run. So for that, we can, I'll not configure this node. We have the third option, which is completed. So this won't check for any errors or success status. As soon as this node completes its run, it will mark it as completed and move to the next workflow node. For now, let's just delete this. You can use simple keyboard shortcuts like backspace and all to clear this. So yeah. So now I would like this decision node, the SQL transformation to run after my decision node has successfully completed. So in this case, the success and error is the decision node status. So if the rows moved are greater than 100, then it is counted as success, and if not, then it is counted as error. So there is this. Let's just rearrange this a bit. Uh, 1 second. Now let's go to reverse connector. We did configure a Google Sheets on using this forward pipeline. So let's select that. So vendor forecasting data export. Same options here as well. Just finish, and let's just connect that once this SQL transformation runs, I would like this reverse ETL node to run. For now, I'll just select completed. For some reason, my SQL query does not work and it fails. So let's just rearrange this a bit. Alright, you have the best view option here as well, the fit view. Then okay, let's just schedule and save sample data orchestration. Okay, now let's just run this workflow. This is a simple workflow. We've just used forward ETL. There's a decision node, then there's a SQL transformation, and after that, that's a reverse connect. So since it checked for freshness, it did not actually run the pipeline, so you won't be seeing any logs here. But for most of the other processes that will be running here, if there's an error, you'll be able to see some logs right next to it. Yeah, so as you can see, it has successfully completed the decision node portion as well. Rows moved were greater than 100, and thus it has successfully moved to the next node. Now our SQL transformation has also successfully completed. Uh, on the next part, it is going to run the reverse ETL portion. So vendor forecasting data export. So as I mentioned earlier, we did not actually run this Google Sheet export before. So I said I'll be using orchestration. So we'll now see whatever happens here. So this has also successfully completed. You see it has moved around 52810s, the reverse piece, and let's just check for the Google Sheet. Here it is. You can see the entire data being moved from your warehouse to this Google Sheet, and we also renamed one column if you remember. So forecasting units is here. So yeah, I think the workflow is now complete, and this is what data orchestration is. And we've essentially used everything around DataChannel in this video. And I think DBT or transformation is something that is left, but that is for a whole nother video. So yeah, I think thank you guys for checking this out. If you have any issues, let me know in the comments. You can, go to datachannel.co. It's a free trial. We also have a free plan available that lets you move around a million rows a month, and it's a 14-day free trial as well, which you can start anytime you like.